All right, Schmidty, there you are. Hello, hello.
Very good.
Gary Smith, we have here on Skype for an NSL talk. Schmidty, you're back home now. You're coming back from Spain. You were competing and coaching. What is more interesting for the audience? You coaching or you what
I
is more
think
exciting for you?
if for exciting for me, obviously, was the flying with Voodoo. Or enjoyment wise, it was a lot of fun. But I think for the audience, nobody wanted to see me. They wanted to see the coaching, the Hayabusa. So I have to say, for the audience, it was the Hayabusa, the coaching side of it.
Hey, Voodoo is the UK national team, so are you going to go with them to the World Meet, possibly, or what's the plan there?
No, I cannot. I cannot because I've got my Dutch ties in with the A-Way. So they need to find a fourth that they can fly with. They want it with Liz, and that would be the plan to try and see if Liz can compete with them. She's going through dates, trying to see if she can make stuff work that they can train enough. But their plan is to continue.
Very good, and they did very well with Liz, actually. I remember.
Yes, better than with myself. So
You need more practice.
they always remind me. They always remind me that they did better with Liz.
Yeah, let's. I'm not the only one reminding you. All right, well, let's talk about what is more important anyway, and where you are brilliant and very successful at the moment, which is the coaching. And um, Hayabusa was once again doing well. They defended their indoor um, top
Yes.
position in the world. How was it? How was it from your perspective? You were working with them mostly, or did you leave them alone when you were jumping? How did it go?
No, I tried to do as normal. I tried not to be too much in their face. I tried to just add a little bit of advice here and then and try to keep things calm, and to make sure they had a goal on every jump, that we knew what we were trying to achieve on the jump. And if it wasn't in the jump, like the stages, the beginning of the day is very, very important, especially the second day, that they know what they have to achieve, and not that they go out there racing. So I think in that sense, it's more not that technique zero. Obviously, with Bob, we discussed some technique, some stuff, but most of the day I was just more supportive.
And they pretty much apply the same continuity plan and engineering as they had it before with Roy.
Yes, but very limited with Bob. So we were weaker. Well, for sure, we weaker with Bob because we only took the stuff that Bob felt comfortable with. So we had not opened the continuity. You'll see round two with the 3-4 airspeed engineering is so much quicker
Hmm.
from the 3 to the 4. And we didn't have that. We didn't have the confidence with Bob. We had done that 3 once before, and it worked very, very well. But to take the 3 to the 4 in the meets in that slot, he said he wasn't comfortable with it. So we took the longer engineering.
Okay, but you would stick with from the finish of the four to um, back to the
To the
star. So because
yeah,
airspeed was taking memory on that one, right?
yes. I don't know. I think we would still short it. I think we would still get ourselves out of memory because I think on a jump like that, and especially in the tunnel with the 4, it's nice to have the same people going through. I think, again, Airspeed did great at it, but I don't think there was much to save in that one move. But for sure, Hayabusa was slower in the transition from 3 to 4.
Yeah, that was a surprise to see SB taking memory on that, but we'll
Uh,
ask them later about that. I saw
uh,
also a change on block 9, where
yes.
Hayabusa is setting it up now differently with a. It's a quicker move to the first 9, is it? Or what's
Yeah,
behind that?
well, I think the airspeed one was the way to go. Like the 7 finish on the back piece to go straight into the quickest 9. But again, it was a case of the build of the 10 we were trying to look after. Bob felt more comfortable if he was sitting still on the build of the 10 and not that he had to make the move. So that was a little bit of the big thing for Hayabusa. We had to look after Bob on engineering.
So a lot of the engineering is still at the moment to feed Bob into his slot, and it may change later again with more
Yeah,
options
for
coming
sure.
then.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this was his first indoor meet. and we knew it was going to go fast and that he can fly. I mean, he's doing a great job in the flying, but we didn't want to put him under pressure. So we gave him a lot of the times a choice. You know, what do you feel better at? And then he said, I want this one. And then we try to work around it to see what was best. And that was the limit, really. So I think speed-wise, they're doing as well as what they were with Roy, but strength-wise, they're a little bit weaker right now because Bob needs the repetitions. He needs to see different pictures.
It was still a 30-plus average.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, amazing. I mean, the 3 blocks weren't drawn, but, you know, some of those blocks are nice for them. But, yeah, he did great. I mean, I think as a team, they did phenomenal.
So how is it compared to Airspeed? Airspeed has a few, I mean, there were other new options also. I saw, like, they have a different 5 now, too.
Yeah. We joked about it with Airspeed, in fact, because I asked them about the new 5, and they said yes, they had used it, but if they lost the round, they would throw it away. And they did lose the round, but I don't know if it was the 5s exactly. I went and studied them now. I've watched both 5s, and I don't think they're gaining anything out of that 5. And especially to a D, that's where you would think would be your advantage. But there's nothing in it. There's no gain for them. So I don't think right now in the Hayabusa continuity we would add it. We had that. We trained that one because we knew the Canadians had that 5. So we did train it with Roy. But we eventually, when it came down to the grindstone and the actual meets, we never used it.
Nobody's using the Canadian 15 yet.
No, I've seen a couple of teams doing it, but I'm trying to think who it was. In fact, Jazz Republic, the South African team, they were using it. I tried it with Voodoo, but we didn't always like the finishes. And again, speed-wise, it hasn't gained. You know, it's not quicker. Is it easier for some of the junior teams? I think yes, in some slots, but on some of the finish isn't always easy. On the Canadian 15.
What do you think of the French, the Gavroche, what is it, 12 it was? Yeah, did you see that?
I looked at that as well. In fact, I watched that round live because Voodoo, we had finished round 10, so I had the luxury. I didn't have to run downstairs and prepare. I could stay and watch. And it was great to see. Obviously, you can spin that compressed piece very quickly backwards, but you can't cut off any angle. So if you look at it from the top, the top teams are shearing off 90%, 90 degrees, if not even more, in the wind tunnel, in the bigger wind tunnel. But the way that they're spinning it a full 540 and a full 360. So I haven't timed them, but I went back and I watched it from the top video, and you can see that they're not cutting off any angle. So that would be the next step for them, I think, if they wanted to make it quicker.
Yeah, interesting though, how many different ways there are actually to engineer. So coming up next is the World Challenge in Bedford for Hayabusa.
Yeah.
And Airspeed is not there, but we will probably have kind of an indirect compare because STC Rhythm XP will be there. So what's a plan for Bedford? Just defending, of course, the indoor dominating position and applying same engineering, or will there be a next step until then already?
Yeah, we hope to. The plan right now is to open, the next step for Hayabusa is to, especially indoor, is to open the continuity up, to try and become as open and as flexible with any randoms, any direction. And yes, it would be great, although Airspeed's not coming to Bedford, I know Rhythm's coming, and that would be a great comparison because Rhythm would have just competed against Airspeed in Paraclete.
Exactly, yeah.
But Airspeed are, if you think of it, they are continuity-wise super strong because they could put any random, any direction. And Tiago is now on the tail, and previously he was on the point.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that they built that K jump with the K, I think it was I can't remember the exact engineering that they used, but they took it was KJ, and they took Tiago back onto the point of the K. And we could not do that with Bob because that was unfamiliar territory, but with them, their continuity in that way, it's so broad because Nicholas can do the tail. and Thiago can do the point.
That's right. Good point.
Yeah, so in that strength, I think airspeed were flying also very, very well, as fast as Hayabusa. We cannot say that we were a whole point ahead of them because of the bust scenario. I just think airspeed, they were just on some of their jumps, they were trying to probably go too fast.
How was Thomas' broken hand?
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, he was in pain, but of course you don't see it at the speed that he's flying. He's a fantastic flyer, probably the best flyer out there. And to fly with a hand like that's amazing if you could see it. But I mean, the grips are so fast, and I kept thinking, wow, he's gonna hurt the hand. But maybe it's through the adrenaline that it didn't seem as though it affected him, at all. But I'm sure it's there. It is there for him, and maybe if he picks up a grip too hard or gets a knock, it will sting that pain. But he flew amazingly well. And Chris also had a knock on round 6 with the block 1 in it. He came back and he got hit on the head as he came. It was just, I think it was out of time, but just coming out the tunnel, he was dazed and went back in with headaches. So they had their troubles, but they flew well.
I heard about somebody else coming home with 2 black eyes.
Vanna in the voodoo camp.
Did you knock her black in her eyes or what?
No, I cannot take the blame for that. I have to give that to Big Dave at the back.
So Gary, how did Jerome now feel more confident after this? I mean, it's a 30 plus average, and he was hesitant as of new options and all that. So now, is he ready for it now, kind of, to explore more? And
I finished off after the meet. We had a quick debrief, and I said to him, he has to now feel that he owns that slot. That slot belongs to him. It's now over of us speaking about him as the new guy, and that he's shown that he can fly at speed. Of course, it's indoors. I still think we have a lot of work outdoors to go with him and the team. But we have a plan for it, and hopefully we can get the jump numbers in. But he now has to own the slot and step up and open the continuity. And in that sense, I think the team will become stronger than what they were, especially indoors right now. If we can start like this, I think that we can push the indoors even further.
So that was kind of the start now of a 2-year cycle for airspeed as well as for you. Is it going to stay like that for 2 years, do you think? Is it going to be like a horse race as it was?
No, for sure. I think airspeed, in no doubt, they will also try and push things further and further. I mean, they have some great engineering. They have, I even like the entrances that they come in with. All teams are different as they enter in, and you have your own reasoning why. I don't think one is always better. But I think they're thinkers. They try and do things different. They vertical certain maneuvers here and there. So they're always also looking to push the sport. So no, I think it would be neck and neck. I hope that at this stage I would for sure put Hayabusa behind airspeed outdoors.
Okay.
We are definitely behind outdoors. As we saw in Dubai, we were behind Canada. But I don't think we'd be behind Canada indoors. I don't think that would be the problem. I think outdoors would be the problem for us right now.
So who is the number 1 at the moment? What do you think?
Outdoors?
Outdoors, yeah. I mean, we're talking about thinking about the next World Championship.
You have to beat airspeed. You have to beat airspeed. I think they've put Nicholas Hemlin back in as world champion. Thiago is very happy on that tail piece in the back. They've got a very strong exit routine, they look so good on their exits that I think the biggest problem is going to be you have to beat airspeed outdoors.
Airspeed.
Yeah.
There we go. Thomas?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're going for their second go, and you've got 2 hungry. You've got Thiago and Chris want to win a world meet. So Thiago's got to be in there, and obviously Nicholas coming back in as world champion is amazing.
If they're going to the world meet, there's Rhythm is very open with that. They have not given up yet. They don't think airspeed is
no disrespect to Rhythm at all. I mean, they have to do it in this year. They've got a big task. They've got to beat that team in this 1 year. Of course, they've been together for longer, and I don't write them off at all.
They're an outdoor team too. They were actually They were kind of, how do you say that, undercover in Dubai. They were closer
Yeah.
to the two top teams actually
Yeah.
than
No,
it may have gotten attention.
yeah, I mean, they're working hard and they've set their goals. So, by all means, you have to respect it and I have to hope for them that things work out. But I would say the same if I was a coach in their corner, which is Shannon's job. You have to beat airspeed. And at the end of the day, if you want to become a world champion, you're going to have to beat airspeed. You have to beat them in the US, and
That
then you have to. And if they win the US, then it's the same as what I have to say to the Belgians. The US is the number one team. You've got to beat them.
It counts for rhythm, it counts for Hayabusa, it counts for evolution
Canada.
for anybody out there.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
that, and you did it once though.
Yeah.
A
I
few
mean,
times you did it.
and it was almost harder. We came up with Magic against a very strong French team, but we had to in the US. You had to beat airspeed to get there.
Hmm. And that was in Lake Wales, right? When you
Correct.
had to do it.
Correct. Yeah.
That
And
was
we had the Golden Knights pumping forward as well because we lost previous to the Golden Knights in 2002
Mhm.
in Chicago.
So what did it take? How did Magic manage to get past airspeed?
Wow. You need to just work hard and have. I think what we did with Magic and even with Fire, we set goals, and I think that's so important. And in the old days, it was just the more jumps you made, the stronger you became, and you could win. But if you're not out there, because all teams can get into the tunnel and they can jump a lot. If you're not out there setting goals and achieving your goals, and if not resetting, it's hard to actually find that you are, actually progressing. And I'm not saying airspeed's not doing that, but I think if you work hard, yes, at the top of the sport, you need a little bit of luck. You'd be amazed.
Is it motivating if you know there is tough competition? Is that kind of bringing up, because you had very tough competition by then, and there is very
Yeah.
tough competition by now.
For me personally, it makes you work harder. You want
Okay.
to be fitter, you want to jump more, you want to tunnel more, you want to do everything more than your opposition. So yes, it is motivating. I think if you knew you were going to win a world meet, you would not give your best performance.
That's a good finish, Gary.
Yes. Thank you, Kurt.
Super interesting. It was very interesting actually, or it is very interesting now that a coach is working with a rhythm who has managed to beat airspeed, and another coach is working with Hayabusa who managed to
Yeah.
beat airspeed. So I don't know if that's where my questions are coming from. Is there a secret recipe to make it work out?
If there is, I can't tell you because I don't know it.
Yeah. Well, good luck with everything, Gary. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
very
for
much.
taking the time actually to do this, and then we'll see you at the latest. Now you'll be here. Are you coming over with anybody for the Paraclete doubleheader?
No, I will be in Dubai with Qatar, and with Hayabusa arrives there just after that, beginning of March. So they'll be in Dubai training.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I won't see you, but maybe in Bedford. I look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, Bedford is already. We'll all be there. It's a good field already by now.
Yeah,
I was just
fantastic.
checking the field today, and we are actually ahead of the previous sign-ups once again, and
Yeah.
with a very strong and good field.
Yeah, it will be great. 10th year, I think.
Yeah, it's a 10th anniversary, and I look
Yeah.
forward to it. All right, thank you very much.